My name's Lena, and the day I got fired was the day I promised myself I'd never feel that powerless again. It happened on a Thursday, the kind of ordinary morning that blindsides you. I'd worked at Holden & Co., a mid-sized marketing firm, for almost 4 years. I wasn't flashy, I just worked hard, stayed late, and believed that loyalty mattered. But to my boss, Mark, loyalty meant obedience. And the day I spoke up, just once, he made me regret it. That morning, we were in the conference room, glass walls, sunlight pouring in. Mark was showing a pitch deck I'd spent all weekend perfecting, except my name wasn't on it. He took full credit, and when I quietly said, "Actually, sir, that was my concept," he froze, then smiled. That condescending kind of smile men use when they feel challenged. "Oh, Lena," he said, laughing lightly. "Let's not make this awkward. The team did it together." The room went silent. I felt my chest tighten, but I stayed calm with respect. I worked on it alone. He didn't like that. His smile disappeared, and then, in front of 15 co-workers, he said words I'll never forget. "If you're so desperate for credit, maybe you should take your talent elsewhere." Everyone laughed nervously. I just stood there, humiliated, my throat burning. And then he said, "You're done here, Lena. HR will handle your exit." Just like that. 4 years. Gone. I walked out that day with my dignity barely intact and my self-worth in pieces. It wasn't just losing my job. It was the way he made me feel small, like I didn't matter. But on the bus home, something inside me shifted. I whispered to myself, he took my job, not my skill. And that was enough to light a fire that never went out. For the next few months, I worked from my tiny apartment, consulting, freelancing, anything I could get. I taught myself everything: business management, leadership, finance. I failed a lot, but each failure made me sharper. Then, one day, an old client from Holden called me. He said, "You were the only reason that campaign worked. We'd rather work with you than them." And that was the start. Within a year, I had a team, 6 people, then 12. We built a small agency called Novaline Strategies. We were hungry, creative, and real. And the irony, half my first clients were the ones Holden had lost because of Mark's arrogance. A year later, I got an email, subject line, "Confidential, acquisition opportunity." When I opened it, my jaw literally dropped. It was from Holden & Co. They were struggling, hemorrhaging clients, losing reputation, and looking for a buyer. At first, I thought it was a joke. Then I realized fate has a sense of humor. 2 months later, I sat in the same glass conference room where Mark once humiliated me. Only this time, I was on the other side of the table. He walked in, older, tired, still trying to fake confidence. "Miss Carter," he said stiffly, "pleasure to meet you. I understand you're interested in acquiring us." I smiled, calm, polite. "Yes, Mr. Holden. It's been a while." He blinked, not recognizing me at first. Then I saw it, that flicker in his eyes, realization dawning, panic surfacing. "Lena Carter." "That's right," I said softly. "You fired me here a year ago, said I should take my talent elsewhere." I did. He swallowed hard. You're buying us. Technically, I said, sliding the contract forward. I already did. The silence that followed was thick, deliciously heavy. He stared at the papers, at me, at the logo on my briefcase. Then, almost to himself, he whispered, "How?" I smiled. "You taught me something that day, Mark. Never underestimate the person you humiliate." He looked down, for once, no smirk, no fake charm, just defeat. After the deal was finalized, he stayed on for a few months as part of the transition. But watching him walk into meetings, avoiding my eye, answering to me, it was surreal. One afternoon, I caught him staring out the window. He said quietly, "I shouldn't have done that to you." And for the first time, I believed him, but I didn't need his apology anymore. I just said, "I know." It's been 3 years since that day. Novaline is thriving, global clients, hundreds of employees. And every time I walk past the old conference room, I remember the girl who stood there, humiliated and shaking, and how she became the woman who owned the building. Revenge, I've learned, isn't about payback. It's about power, the quiet kind that comes from rebuilding yourself when no one believes you can. So if you've ever been publicly humiliated, if someone tried to make you feel small, don't waste energy proving them wrong. Just become so good they have no choice but to remember your name, because one day they'll sit across from you and realize they created the very person they tried to destroy.